wanted since you were a kid? DTM Carmelo Bellardo III.
Carmelo.
Appreciate the applause. I have to say anything.
Yeah, use your words.
I'll wait until I speak, wait, see if it's worthy of applause. Table topics are great, right? We love table topics contests, day or night. How many of you have an answer for that table topics question right now?
Always.
Right? Lonnie with the car song. I like the Mac. There's Day Tripper, right? Then there's Pink Floyd, when you run and you run, pick up the sun, but it's sinking, racing around to come up behind you again. So many great ideas you think of afterwards, right? The other favorite question I had was, if you go back and do it all over again, that reminds me of like regrets and proud moments in your life. When you look back, what do you regret? Do you regret anything? I don't think you ought to regret anything because everything's a learning experience. And whatever mistakes we've made in the past, we get to learn from them so we don't make them again. You take folks that are older and ask them, give me some life lessons. What would Zoe tell us that we should pay attention to?
Right.
You didn't even use your words.
What do you love to practice? Toastmaster Bonnie Babs.
Bonnie.
All right, Bonnie.
Thank you for that. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
One of the things that I love to practice is being interviewed. Like ever since I was a little girl, I always imagined myself being asked certain questions on TV. So I think I always just knew I had to be famous because I always saw it in my head. So one of the things that helps me though when I'm going through a rough time is to see myself being interviewed and talking about how I made it through. So if anyone in here is going through a rough time, that's one of my favorite things to go to. Because when you're going through it, you can only focus on how bad it is. And it's really hard to get out of that place. So what I do is I'll walk around the house and be like, yes, and I remember when I was there, and I thought I wouldn't make it through, but this is what I did. So that's what I enjoy practicing, seeing myself on the other side of the obstacle. Thank you.
What are you an expert at? Toastmaster Gio Rivera.
Yo.
What am I an expert at? That's a great question. Many things come to mind, but I will say, what I'm an expert at is smiling.
There you go.
Smiling. My mom said when I was born smiling.
Oh.
And I'm often told that I have smiling eyes. And I will say that we all have smiles. We all have the ability to smile. And we all heard that statistic, it takes more muscles to make a frown than a smile. But let me encourage you, there are moments where you might not want to smile. Moments when you wake up in the morning, maybe you look in the mirror, it's not a great day. But you have the ability, the choice to smile. So I encourage you to force yourself to smile. In the mirror, smile in the mirror, because your smile is a weapon. Use it to help others smile.
Yeah.
In order to try to finagle myself off of DTM Roofinauts, the Marion Report, I should phrase that too late. At what are you an expert?
What are you in?
What is your biggest phobia, Toastmaster Jay Shaw? He's gone.
He's afraid of that question.
He's afraid of being called on.
I guess that answers that question. Benjamin Urudia, what is your biggest phobia?
I know a girl that used to call her phobia. heard that either she was rejecting me or I was rejecting her. But one of the things that I believe is more common is claustrophobia. I once went to a medical appointment, and I was there, I clicked the third floor, it didn't move at all. So after 2 minutes, I realized that something was happening. So I called the number there and said, this is so-and-so from the office of the doctor. Leave your message and I will call you in 48 hours. 48 hours? I'm going to be here for 48 hours. But the good thing is that any type of phobia that you have, just work against it. Find out if that is good or not. I used to have a phobia against table topics. I love table topics.
What is your biggest pet peeve? Toastmaster Linda Flores.
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
My biggest pet peeve are rule breakers. I'm married to one. He leaves the dishes in the sink at night, doesn't load the dishwasher, he runs through stop signs. He gets stopped by the police many times for doing this, and guess what? No ticket. I wish he would get a ticket. I want to go back to what Morass McNitt said. Yes, I would still marry my husband.
What do you love to do? Toastmaster Ken Glenn.
Yeah,
I'd like to defer that to the day. It's had the kind of question he
here we go.
Today, Organ Louie.
You're up.
Toastmaster Amy White at the back. Come on up, Brad. Good to have you.
Daytime, nighttime.
I would say one thing I love to do the most, mostly being there for others. The way that I can support them and learn more about them as well. A friend of mine, right, he was struggling with drug problems back in school. And one thing I wanted to do exactly was to make sure that he was okay. So I asked him how he was doing. And he told me that he was doing fine, but he was struggling with addiction as well as anxiety. So one thing I did was spend more time with him, more time anxiety eased and his pain eased. And afterwards, I was able to one day help him and pretty much be there for him. And that's one thing I love to do the most. Thank you.
What do you want more of in your life? Toastmaster Perry Saunders.
Perry.
She go to work?
Yes.
Look at people with jobs. Instead of his face.
Cheers with Jay.
Toastmaster Rebecca Aggleton, what do you want less of in your life?
Yes, indeed, tabletop.
Yes, I would say I want less of those. I'd like to think about what I want less of. Gosh. You know, I'm going to talk about more first. And it's interesting how they say the more you have doesn't necessarily make you happy, right? We only need, well, we have needs, right? And we have desires. And for the things we need, maybe we have a little more because we need them. Things we desire, you're never going to have enough to make them happy, right? So it's really So, I don't know about less, but just enjoy what you have.
You got a broomstick?
Yeah, really. Do ask everyone, please speak up. The microphone in this isn't real strong, and we're going to keep hearing that.
Yeah, we're getting drowned out by them. Next door. What is your favorite sound? Toastmaster Tim Kindles.
Well, 2 months ago, well, first I should explain why my eyes are closed half the time, because I am a morning person, not a night person. And about 2 months ago, I had this mental lapse of logic, thinking, why don't I audition for a Broadway show? So I did. And I'm in the Broadway stage version of Mary Poppins. Tonight is opening night, and every rehearsal is gone till 10:30 or 11. But the greatest sound I would like to hear would be correct notes from the orchestra.
Follow that up with a lot of jokes, but I won't. Are you more like your mom or your dad? Toastmaster Lon Perez.
Who's that? Analia?
Anna Perez?
Hannah Perez.
Analia.
Analia.
She was already on.
You like
I just go with the notes on it.
Okay, it's your first day, Carson.
Tim, pointing at the table.
Morning, Elizabeth.
If I gave you $1,000 and told you that you had to spend it today, what would you buy? Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Morning.
If I had $1,000, I would give it to you to not pick me. I would definitely bribe my way out of this.
Oh, I also had.
Oh, gosh. So, I actually want to go back to one of the questions that said, what would you have wanted in your life? Well, one of the things I always wanted was a Barbie doll as a kid growing up. I craved it. And so during the day, I would steal Barbie dolls, and at night I would play with them. It was the only thing I ever wanted. And I don't regret it, because when I got caught, the wonderful police officer took pity upon me. And not only did he allow me to keep that Barbie doll, but he also bought me a new pair of shoes and gave me a free meal. Thank you.
What do you know well enough to teach others? Gina Rosales.
Don't laugh. Teach English.
Wow, that's making me cry. Because I was supposed to be a history teacher. That was my major. But then, Berkeley, back to Brazil, I said, I forgot all the history I learned, so I have to teach the language that I know now. And it's been like a year that I got this new job. And now I understand, because I know what I do makes a huge difference in these people's lives, because they need to learn the language, to eat, and to become the doctors that they used to be in their countries, and now they just clean tables. And so what I do now is I feel really grateful, and I understand why I became an English teacher.
Yeah.
Smell, Toastmaster Olivia Devian.
Good morning, Toastmasters. Good morning. Appreciate being here today. My favorite smell is one that's shared all over the world. Your skin, your mom's breast, when you're born, and then you're being nurtured. But truly, my favorite is the smell of fresh baked bread. The wafting smell as you walk by the bakery, you kind of linger behind and look at all those beautiful pastries in the glass. The smell of baked bread when you go by your neighbor's house and you wish you were invited over. The smell of fresh bread as you tear into it and share it. That is my favorite smell.
Moment of silence for the Marita Bread Factory. What do you sometimes pretend that you understand when you really don't? Toastmaster Robert Leedy.
Robert.
Thank you, Carson, for these excellent table topics. I had a job in which this is what I did all day long. I pretended I knew about everything because I owned a used bookstore and I had a general bookstore. And I learned how to talk for about 2 minutes about anything and have a lot of confidence. People would come in and talk about nuclear physics. I knew nothing about that. I was able to just kind of go with it. 2 minutes, just enough to direct them to that section, maybe find a book, and they thought I knew what I was talking about. And I realized I could do that about anything. Now, after about 2 minutes or 3, they'd start asking me questions, and then I realized I was like, I've got another customer over here. But it's a very useful skill for what I did, and I was able to sell a lot of books that way. And thank you for that question, because that became a very valuable skill for me.
Oh, yes.
Did I get everybody? What was that?
Ricky.
I have a note here that says Tim needs to see Tim needs to see Rebecca.
Okay.
All right, our final one. What experience from this past year do you appreciate the most? DTM Blake Smith.
Hey.
Man, I could not get them to read bread back. It's going to be easy to fall in the morass of various answers for this one, but I think everyone in this room knows where I'm going to go. The experience that I cherished the most this last year is this last year. Watching my mom's eyes light up when I talked to her about Toastmasters. So what were the speeches like? Did you win a trophy? I said, I didn't compete. Well, if you competed, they'd have given you a trophy. No, Mom, you still got to win. And believe it or not, she knows about a lot of you by name. She can't wait to meet Tim Langer. She likes handsome people. You know, just hanging out with my mom. Give you an idea of my mom. I'm feeding her 2 days ago at the hospital. And I said, Mom, would you want to know if there was a naked man outside with a monkey walking around? And she says, no. And as I give her another mouthful of food, and she goes, how naked? Hanging with my mom for the last year. That's it. Thanks, Carson.
Okay, I'd like to thank you all for putting up with me standing here